in the process of the system, in a very simple way, as I keep on explaining for those who come to go through the process in the room. When you enter the room, some of you get touched by the environment. It's very correct, it's very true, because the systems have been running and people have been going through it. So as you enter, there is already a pre-existence field. As you go from seat 1 to seat 2 and to seat 3, in seat 1, a balancing physicality takes shape. But don't forget, you still have tapped into the fields within the building, within the structure. When you go to 2, you will see, as many of you tell you, many people go through the system, first thing they tell us most of the time, they feel the legs are there, but they don't know, they feel the legs. But here is something different, but they are all concerned about the legs, pain in the back and the leg. So here we open the solar physicality. So the solar physicality start working, but the physicality is still attached by the leg to the ground. That's why you have this dilemma. When you enter seat number 3, then the game changes and the soul of the man takes over the physicality. Some of you say, I feel no difference from chair 2 to 3, because in that process you have already brought in the soul of the man into play. And then, whatever you do in this block, walking, sitting, we put chairs for you here now, you are in the environment of the soul of the universe, not the earth. Even though you talk, you walk, you drink, everything else. It comes to the point that in this room, you are in the fields of the universe. You choose. And interesting enough, all those who've been through this, when they go back to 3, 2, 1 and go out, they tell you, as they sit on the 3, they know the journey of the soul is finished and they're ready to accept the condition of physicality. And by the time they reach seat number 1, most of them, or all of them, tell you they knew, as Monday said, it landed. They have landed back on Earth. The journey of the soul is finished. And they all tell you they feel that physicality, the weight back again. Which means what we said from the beginning is, when the soul takes over, weight and the dimension does not matter. What will be interesting for us in next few days and next few weeks of testing will be how many of you in the position of the structure of the work will transmute to any position in the room. Don't forget, we got you when you sat in chair number 1 by the leg. You're not going anywhere. Go to planet Zeus, we still got you. You come back to us because we tell you to come back. Even though you're in the dimension of the soul, many of you tells us that they hear noises. But the only noise they hear is the instruction which goes what and where. Most of you get the instruction from your own physical dimension. As many of women especially say, they know the physicality is coming to do something. Says, no, 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 I don't want, I just want to carry on with what I'm doing. And we start seeing a pattern of work which shows you, we make you ready to become passenger of the universe, and then we make you ready to become the passenger of physicality. You tell us what you've been through. I will listen. I did what the Christ did. Give insight back to the blind. But it's not the first time. But this time, we don't do it as a mystery and a magic of a religion. We do it as understanding of the science of the creation. We will see many of you taking a flight simulation to, in a way, change the processes within yourself, to fulfill where the things went wrong, to put it right, that psychosomatic conditions you created for physicality, when it's embedded within the soul, will not be there. This is one thing which knowledge seekers have not understood. The soul of the man is perfectionist. The soul of the man will not allow anything to go wrong. The soul of the man lives by the ethos of the mitra. So it cannot, when it takes over the physicality to be within it, allow any faults. It has to correct itself, because then if it's wrong within it, it will affect the operation of itself. This is why you see changes. This is why you see the change in everything in the physical dimension. Because up to now you had the body of the man and you interrupt the soul in it. Now the soul has you entrapped in it. And now everything in this has to be perfect. We are not healers. We don't offer a health system. We offer you a flight system to fly the span of the universe and bring the knowledge of the universe to correct the dismal physical life of the man in a physical dimension. The interesting thing is, in the next few weeks, we'll have a Zoom session with all those who went through the system. Because the process does not finish when you exit. The process just starts when you exit. As I said, in the dimension of the physical life, the real life starts when the physicality finishes. We call it death, and the life of the soul starts. You expect it, and you go through the systems and come out, and the soul is left behind, back in trap again. My dear friends, you have let the cat loose. Now it knows it can come and go. Many of the knowledge seekers who we speak to, or they talk the day later or the week later with us, tell us they have a connection with the system. The only way you can have a connection to the system is to the soul of the system and the soul of the man. And so we have given you that freedom. In this way, we have taken the man into the universal community without a man. It'll be interesting when we bring the knowledge seekers together who went through the system, what they tell us has changed in them since they've been in. What physicality has changed? What has changed in their emotion? What have they fixed in their social life? What have they changed in interaction with their friends and families? Because it's not that I experienced or I won the lottery. Now is I want to live the life of the universal community and live by the ethos of Mitra. We see many knowledge seekers change as they go through this process. Change is not that suddenly you become something. Change comes as you gradually become citizens of the universe. You live by the behavior of universal community and not by the physicality of the universal community. The changes are profound. And as I said, we'll see as it comes. As I said, you will understand this in a very clear way. With the gentleman with the eye, we are photographing his eye every day he comes in now, to watch how the eye has changed. It was interesting standing in front of him yesterday after he came out of the system, after he had a long session of flight. It took a few seconds for him to allow us to take pictures of his eye. And he wanted to look at it. And he said for the first time, he noticed that his eye, which is blind, is different. He never considered where one eye is this size, now the eye has changed to so smaller, because he just had an eye. What we see interesting is the eyeball now, when he came, there was just like creamish yellowish color. Now all the veins are full of blood. The body is retaining back because the soul of the man sees the physicality has to match the soul to see the perfection of it. When I released the eye vision units, you all thought it was going to be my eyes perfect if I have this and that. It was to open the eye of the soul of the man, not the eye of the physicality of the man. But when you open the eye of the soul of the man, it has to be perfect with its physicality too. We are not physicians. We are the knowledge seekers. We are the scientists of the universe. I explain these things step by step, that you as knowledge seekers understand it. That you know what has come, what we told you will come is exactly what we said, and what we say to expect in the coming time is to come. It's not anymore making maglabs, it's not anymore making Ganses. You have joined the universal community and you have to understand the implication and application of becoming part of a new society. You have to learn. As I always say, you have no choice. That the time for encapsulating, imprisoning, keeping to hostage, as I said from the beginning of the time when we started these works, the physicality of the man is a leech on the soul of the man. Now you understand what it means, because now you have it, you can free it. Is for you to be ready for the evolution of the man in the world of the science of the universe, not science of microchips and the others. Those of you who went through the full transmutation of the fields of the soul of the man, you'll find out, some of you, if you've gone through the process the correct way, travel to China. To you, you speak English. To the Chinese, hears you in the Chinese language. The emotion of the language. You don't need to say commercially, because it doesn't exist anymore. You don't need to sit and wait. I have to find a word for it to explain maybe the emotion. Because in the exchange of the understanding of the language, the soul of the meaning of the word has already changed. In the next few weeks, testing, we bring a new dimension into the work. By September, we try to add 2 more units into this, what we call environment. What is interesting for us is that we will move the 2 systems further apart to the extremes of science. With it, we'll bring 2 more units into the system. There's still each 2 passengers, and we add to the number of the seats around the room to make it to 12. In the process of these new systems, what some of you will see is not anymore as reactors, but you should start seeing lights, like the stars. In this process, we gradually will get rid of what we call the physical systems. And what you will have is the containment of condition of what we call universal community. I expect this maybe if we get it all right by November. It's a lot of work. And then what we shall see is anyone entering this room in a way of instantaneous operation will join the universal community. You decide. New York, Mars, another galaxy, and if you're very, very clear in the ordeal of life of the man, you'll come across one of the most beautiful things, and that is you will meet, you'll come to feel the essence of the presence of the Creator. We had people going through the system and wanting to meet the Christ or feel His presence, and they have that. We have knowledge seekers who go in a specific way to raise the soul of the Germans, the Italians, and the rest. And they have not matured that are there to raise the soul of the humanity, the earth, and the universe. It needs time to mature. We're still under the banner of the Keshe Foundation, are nationalistic. Where this has to die, where this has to be understood, the nation is a small part of the totality of my soul. I am nationalistic when it comes to Iran and the land of Iran. But that is the limitation of it, because I'm committed to universal community. It'll come to a lot of you that by changing seats in different part of this structure, you will fly to different positions in the universe. You want to go to galaxies, you choose this. You want to go to Earth, you use that. You want to go to Mars, you use that. And then you choose combination of these 1, 2, and 3s to sit and land in different positions in the universe. And as you have seen, those of you who've been through the system and come out, I listen to you patiently. I don't ridicule you. Are you sure what you've seen? Because what you tell us is the truth that the soul has seen. And sometimes I wish I was there to see the joy you took. We're building these systems that in a coming time, when you come near Uno, what we call exhibition center, you see the light from kilometers that you know this is the site. We build it in the inner sanctum of a building to show that we do not need to be in a space, because that inner sanctum itself is part of the universal space. To man is underground, to universe is an open span of these energies. We bring you a dimension that, as I said, you could not imagine, but now you can think and become reality. You go to places and you meet with people you like. Yesterday I listened to a lady who wanted to meet Jesus. That was her wish. And then she tells us, I felt a field, I didn't see the man. So in that field, you feel the essence of the soul of the Christ. That's his name. Interesting is that we had 2 Muslims up to now through the system. We are not aware of any Jews coming through. I wonder what the Iranians who booked in to come in, would they come and bring the soul of the blessed name Muhammad to play, to enlighten the Muslims of today, to stop the whole mayhem of present time. If I get enough of you through these doors around the world, then the extent of this room changes and earth becomes the testicle. The seed for unification of the soul of the man with the universal community has truly started in this. If you thought man has achieved major breakthroughs with nanotechnology and rocket space technology, as the old saying says, you've seen nothing yet when it comes to the world of the plasma. Many of you will come to have new abilities which you could never imagine even exist. Because as you travel through the span of the universe, you learn new knowledge, and then you'll be able to apply it in the physical dimension of the man. Many of those who travel with UFO would like to get into the atmosphere of the earth to learn what has been gifted to man, to be able to pass the span of the universe and not spend thousands of years traveling from one to B, just to be somewhere as the physicality wanted. Now you travel to the position and you change the dimension of physicality. Who doesn't need UFOs, rocket propulsion, or airplane? This is the start of a revolution and evolution, and many of you will enjoy it. Once gets hold in complete condition, there will be no more hunger and suffering, there will be no more illnesses, there will be no more what are called persecutions and religions to tear each other apart. There will be no more war, because now you live through the ethos of the most beautiful creature in the universe called Mitra. And then you understand. When you hold Mitra in your arm the way I do, you understand the beauty of the creation. You understand what the man has to give, to bring, to be able to change what's within. Be prepared for what is to come, because it's you who makes the destiny, not us.